Actually, are you arguing that Joe Biden was fine during his
I'm not
term?
arguing that he was fine. I'm arguing that
you keep pivoting back to Trump, who's clearly fine. I'm just asking you if you're arguing that something was not wrong with Joe Biden.
I'm so glad you asked that question. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I would dearly love to see a cognitive test from him.
Donald Trump is the wrong person to try to act as if he's on a cognitive decline. I would argue that that dude is moving and shaking and doing more than people in their 30s.
He told me I got to stop eating the chips right before I talk about them, but I can't stop eating these chips. They're tremendously good. And the crazy thing is that they're good and they're also healthy at the same time. Monster Chips is an incredible brand, incredible chip. My family, we literally load up on Monster Chips. And right here at the headquarters, we have them everywhere. One thing that I like about the Monster Chips is the limited ingredients. I don't need all that super spooky stuff in my food, and I don't have to be a food scientist to know that this is a really good product. Let me read the ingredients right here on the back. All it has is organic corn, 100% grass-fed beef. Remember that, grass-fed beef tallow, sea salt, and lime. That's it. Made right here in the United States of America. But let me tell you this, I got a discount for you, all right? 25% off. If you go to monsterchips.com/Officer Tatum, make sure you put in the code Officer Tatum, you'll get 25% off your next bag. Join me and be healthy and get you some Monster Chips.
Here we go again. You have the ignorance amongst us, white and black, Jew and Gentile, that are still running cover for Joe Biden's cognitive decline. And I don't know if you guys heard my thoughts about Joe Biden's cognitive decline the other day, but my statement was, which I think is true, is that he already had cancer. They knew he had cancer. The question is, did he decide that I'm just going to die because I'm going to cover up the treatment? Meaning that I'm not going to get treatment, I'm just going to die, or I'm going to do a holistic approach or something. He had it and didn't tell nobody. Or he don't have it now, and they trying to act like that's what it is instead of him having a form of dementia and what we already known to be a mental decline. One of the two things has happened, and they still can't admit that they were implicit or complicit in covering up that Joe Biden had a mental decline. They didn't report on it as much as they should. They didn't push back on Joe Biden, and they mocked, mimicked, shamed, embarrassed people that had the nerve to come on and say what everybody in America was observing before the debate. Roll the clip.
Actually, are you arguing that Joe Biden was fine during his
I'm not
term?
arguing that he was fine. I'm arguing that
you keep pivoting back to Trump, who's clearly fine. I'm just asking you if you're arguing that something was not wrong with Joe Biden.
I'm so glad you asked that question. Because Joe Biden is no longer the president.
But he was, and that's the story tonight.
Stop. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Guys.
Let me finish something. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I would dearly love to see a cognitive test from him, because as somebody who's lived in the New York media market for the last 40 years, I can tell you that the Donald Trump that I knew in the 80s is not the Donald Trump that I hear today.
So your answer to the cover-up is Trump.
My answer is...
Your answer to every question is Trump.
My answer is the
cover-up is the story tonight.
The president...
That's the story.
Yes, the cover-up is also the president of the United States, who happens to be Donald J. Trump today, is not... Yeah, you could laugh all you want.
I am definitely laughing.
You know why you're laughing?
We are laughing.
We're going to...
We are laughing.
No, we're not laughing. You don't want to answer the question, Scott.
Yeah.
You're president.
What question?
Julie, we're going to leave it there.
I'd love to see his cognitive test. I'd love to see
I'm
his
sure he'd
physical
be
test.
fine.
Dr.
I'm sure he
Grasso.
would, right.
Of course he'd be fine. Donald Trump, like, for you to be such a moronic person to think that Donald Trump and Joe Biden are the same, also to think that Donald Trump don't have all of his faculties and he's not sharp and cognitively there, then how did he go to Qatar and go to Saudi Arabia in pretty much enemy territory to a certain degree and sit down with these world leaders and negotiate deals that benefited America? He clearly is cognitively with it. Then the dude come back and go straight to a rally. Donald Trump is the wrong person to try to act as if he's on a cognitive decline. I would argue that that dude is moving and shaking and doing more than people in their 30s. That I see him every day. I see him, like, I'm tired looking at him do stuff. And he's probably almost in his 80s. Ma'am, go get a life and get off this TV line and being silly. It ain't even close. And we saw it, even if you don't believe it, we saw it in the debate. Did you not remember them debating? He literally did so poorly he had to drop out of the race because he was stuttering and losing his train of thought in front of the world. And Donald Trump was like, I don't even think he knew what he said. You tell me who is cognitively there or not. Easy money.